we're just getting into more and more starters.
Sure.
You know, especially with being an exciting up-and-coming undefeated fighter.
Sure.
With 21 out of 25 victories coming by way of knockout.
Sure.
So, you know, luckily I've mentally been prepared for this game for a very long time.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be in the spotlight, so I just really just try to stay humble, man, you know, and do my job. A lot of people forget that it's a sport, but for the individual athlete, it's a job. It is my career. I'm doing my best to take care of my career. I look forward to having a long, healthy career, and in that, I'm inspired to train harder, to add new things to my regimen, and be the best athlete that I can be. Athletes only have so long in their career. It's not the longest of professions. So I'm just going to do my best to make the best of it. Who knows what kind of doors are going to open up in the future?
How do you? Are you worried? I mean, obviously, you've got Allison, you've got Dan, who's like, you've got a good foundation. You know, was that something important to you? I mean, obviously, it must have been something that you were looking to ensure that you had, right?
It's all about your inner circle.
Yeah.
You know? And Ben Getty used to talk about that a lot growing up when I was in the amateurs, that, you know, the team around the fighter and the people that the fighter hangs around with is very important, from their friends and their family members and stuff, because depending on what kind of family you got, some family is good to be around, and other family can drag you down. You know, luckily I have a great family. I have a great circle of friends. You know, my team, Dan Birmingham, has been working with me since I was 14 years old.
Yeah.
We have a great chemistry. We always have. When Ben was here, and we have a great chemistry, even though that Ben is gone. He knows where I come from. Al Haymon is one of the best managers in the game today. He's doing beautiful things in the world of boxing, and he's put me at the forefront of a lot of those things, and I'm truly blessed to be one of his star fighters today.
Dan is, you know, one of the best guys in the business for a long time. With Al, like, how do you meet a guy like? How do you meet Al? Was there a conversation? Do you get a phone call, or do you get like introduced? Do you remember
I was currently,
like the day?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
So I was currently being managed by Shelly Finkel, who was a great manager in the world of boxing at one point in time. And he was doing a career shift, a career change. And with that, I had one of two options: to sign a promotional contract with Golden Boy Productions, or be introduced to the man named Al Haymon at the time, who was still a very almost like one of the best kept secrets at that time. I knew Andre Berto,
my old friend,
and I talked to his original trainer, Tony Morgan.
I'm having dinner with Tony tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah. I followed Berto for 4 years.
Cool.
Yeah. I'll tell him, say hi, man.
Tell him
he's got a fight tonight, or else he would come up tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what it is, man.
Yeah.
So Tony knows me from way back, and he knows Ben Getty from way back, and in the mix of this was one of the first times I had to negotiate my career for myself. Because Ben took care of my career when it comes to all the business end. And Golden Boy offered me a disrespectful amount of money, and I was getting more and more interested in hearing of who this guy Al Haymon was. I know that Berto was with him, and Berto was doing great things in his career at the time. Tony said, "Let me put you on the phone with this man called Sam Watson." So I talked to Sam Watson, and then I had a fight out in LA. Sam picked me up, and I had my first meeting face to face with Al Haymon. It couldn't have been no longer than a 40-minute meeting. We ate and we chatted. And he told me all the things that he believes, why he's involved with the sport of boxing. And I just met one of the realest people I think I've ever met in my whole life when I met Al Haymon. He was a Harvard grad. You can tell by the way he speaks that he was highly educated. He made most of his money in the music industry. He doesn't really need more money, but everybody has their thing in life, and some people are addicted to work and addicted to helping people reach success, and I think that's the kind of man that Al Haymon is.
Yeah.
I mean, this PBC is beautiful. He's changing the sport of boxing, and people have been complaining, the American public has been complaining that the sport of boxing needs to change, and he has great fighters like myself and a whole bunch of other world champions. To make this shift happen, to make dreams a reality. So I'm truly blessed, man. And Dan has tons of experience with working with all sorts of managers. He remembers Al, one of the first times he was on the scene. Winky fought Jermaine Taylor, and that was one of Al Haymon's fighters at the time. So, you know,
he did a great job with Berto. I mean, look at Berto. And Berto was, you know, it's a wonderful guy. And Tony, it's Tony like somebody I take that very highly. You know, Tony doesn't bullshit. You know, certainly Tony, I take his recommendation pretty high. You trusted those guys. How long do you know Berto? You know Berto?
I've known Berto since I was like 12 years old.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a far drive.
They used to come down to our gym and spar a fighter that was around the same age as Berto named Chris Rangel. He was the best fighter we had at the gym at the time, but he was always a few steps behind Berto, and we would go up to Winter Haven and spar at their gym. They come down to Clearwater.
DAL over there?
Yeah. We had a great relationship, man. Yeah. We would go back and forth. I was a part of certain training camps for Berto.
Cool.
While I was still an amateur.
Would you fight him down the road? I mean, is that even? Have you ever thought about it? I mean, I imagine you.
I mean, as an amateur, I thought I wouldn't be able to be a world champion without going through Andre Berto. You know, and that would be a great fight to bring back home. You know? Two Florida boys.
It would be a great fight, and two charismatic guys. You know what I mean? It's like, talk about promoting a fight. That would be really in an action. I mean, thinking about it now, I don't know if Al would allow it, but it's
due to our friendship. He's one of the last welterweights I really want to fight.
Yeah. And he's one of the nicer guys in the world. You know, when was that? When did you hook up with Al? How many years ago was that? Was that 3 years ago?
Back in 2012. Right, late 2012.
Yeah. Right, and that's my point. That like he's taking advantage. You know, he's doing right by the fighters and the fans, by everyone, which is really something that you don't get out there.
Hasn't been done for a very long time.
I know, right? It's like, what's your plans next, or do you not know? We're gonna look ahead, or how many times a year are you looking to fight?
Early on, we talked about a possible 4. I know it's going to be a guaranteed 3.
Okay. Right.
I'm looking forward to 3. I'd be satisfied with 3.
Yeah.
But it all depends on the outcome of this fight. If there is an early stoppage, then we could be more prone to hop into the ring sooner than later.
Yeah.
If it's another 12-round grueling fight, I'm going to need time to recover, and we'll most likely just stamp it on the 3 fights and leave it at that.
But you want to keep it. Are you able to convey this to do hey, listen, guys, I want to 2 fights for me, or I want to keep this at 3? Do you guys have like an open communication?
3 is what I want.
Yeah.
I only fought twice last year due to over the summer I had a shoulder problem. It was heavy inflammation in my left shoulder. But I was displeased with that, and because of that, I wanted to do a minimum of 3. I think I'm young enough to where my body can afford to do that, and we'll see if I can be as active as 4 fights, because it would be smart to take advantage of the opportunity that I have, and ride the wave, create more momentum. There's a lot of great fights out there in the welterweight division. Like I said, this is a job, this is a career, and to stay busy, I don't make a paycheck unless if you see me perform in the ring.
So, and is Dan behind that now, or are they both saying, all right, you can sit down and talk, but you're not adverse to like?
Dan will tell you, well, in Dan's own words, he would say, Keith knows his body better than anybody else.
Of course, yeah.
So, So if I say, Coach, I feel like we can do this. that's not gonna be a big problem. Or let's give it a shot. So okay, Keith, you feel comfortable, I feel comfortable. So we do communicate. I communicate with Dan, I communicate with Al. Al doesn't want me to push my body beyond the level that's uncomfortable for myself. You know, he's very respectful to his fighters. He has things in planned and vision, but he knows that he works for his fighters. He never puts down an ironclad foot or anything of that nature. He simply may encourage and always hopes the best, and he wants the best for each and every one.
You don't feel pressure with the manager to say, "Oh man, I got to do this." You feel cool. I mean, obviously, you sound like you are.
At the end of the day, you know, no one can make a fighter fight.
Right.
You know, nobody can make you cross the street if you don't want to. You know? So you know, as a simple human, as a man, as an athlete who is really a free agent. You know, and most of Al Haymon's fighters are free agents. We're able to pretty much put everything up on the table, and it's up for negotiation.
How have you been recovering well now from camp and fighting? Are you feeling as good as you felt like in your career?
You know, it's very interesting. I mean, I've been boxing since I'm 7 years old. So like, I'm 26. I'll be 27 later this year. And I mean, I know I'm not that old, but I'm technically each year I'm the oldest I've ever been in boxing. You know? So it's interesting, man. Recovery as well. There's no problems. Everything seems normal. I've been doing this for a long time, you know. Really, it just comes down to how hard do I want to work? How hard do I want to push myself? You know, am I gonna run 3 miles in camp, or am I gonna run 6 miles in camp? You know what I'm saying? But
stay hungry.
We do the 6 over the 3. But daily. So
it's you know, it'll be a process. The older you get, you know what I mean. You're not having any problems with weight yet, right? That's cool. That's cool. Well, I'll do this. I'll let everybody get, but I'll tell Tony to say hello, man. We're having dinner up here tomorrow night. I don't know if I'm going to go to Winter Haven or come up here, but I'll tell him to say hi.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. No, he's great. I talk to him probably once a month. He's one of my. I mean, I've stayed friends with him for so long. Like, he's one of my favorite guys in Boston. He really is. And Berto. Berto's in LA, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him for.
He's in LA. He trains in Oakland. He might fly out. I just talked to him like 2-3 months ago.
No way.
Yeah. He said he might fly out. Check out the Tampa Bay scene, Clearwater. His Winter Haven family. He's like, I might come out for this.
You know what? I'm gonna call him and tell him to come out, man. I'm gonna call him today for sure. Keith, pleasure, man. Hey, good luck on Saturday.
Thanks, man.